This is a spoiler warning. The following video contains spoilers for the story behind the game Vital Hearts. You have been warned.
Hey, Rectus, what are you playing today?
I am playing Ren Sato, a power gamer whose avatar is Tetsu, a dreadnought. He is an athlete, former lightweight boxer. His personality is driven. His motto is live until you die.
Nell, who are you playing today?
I'm playing as Goto Sugimori, 35, a police officer. In the game, he is Awen, a female dervish.
Yeah. Swords today.
Yep, and his motto is be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah. We also have Quoteman with Quoteman with us today.
Yeah. I am playing the player Rozu Nasagawa, a high school delinquent with no real way in life other than having fun. His motto is if you can't find the fun in it, why bother? In the game, he is also playing Rozu Nasagawa because he just doesn't give a crap about using his real name.
Sure, why not? What's identity theft, really?
Yeah.
We also have Griffin.
Yep, I'm playing Kuwabara Goto, a softcore yakuza with a happy personality. He's playing Karasu, a grenadier, who's just as insane as him. My motto is, crime is its own reward.
Hi.
Hey!
Welcome to the Vital Hearts. If, as I speak on this day, January 31st, 2018, we are still in the Kickstarter. So if you are one of the pledgers, thank you for your support.
Woo!
Well, we passed the milestone of retailer support, so I set that up this week. So I was excited about that. And we're joined today, we have the mighty Raktus, the ineffable Griffin, and the ineluctable Nell.
Hello.
So it's been a while,
Yeah.
but when we last, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying it's been a month. I haven't opened my character sheet since 12/31.
We've been pretty busy. And as I'm telling people in the future who are listening to this, we're going through a lot of changes in the book. I've had some very exciting feedback, both from this group and from others. And so I'm always thankful. I have it's the poor game designer who blames the players. So if there's something an issue, we're going to fixinate it. And there is going to be some big changes. And also, we had a lot of feedback already on the Kickstarter. So, because people had a lot of questions. In fact, I really want to thank Raktus for a lot of the research he's done on the isekai genre, because his perspective is different from mine.
It is my favorite genre.
Yeah. Well, specifically the MMO part. Like, we posted that comic strip recently where I'm a fan of being trapped in another world, but look at my old man gray hairs. It's like I'll bring up stuff like Fushigi Yugi and Aura Battler Dunbine. And it's like, what are old man animes?
Well, I mean,
I only recognize the first one, not the second one.
Fushigi Yugi is pretty classic. And also, Nell is a fan of old school anime. So...
I remember catching glimpses of Dot Hack Sign.
Right. Dot Hack Sign is old school. That's 2003. Aura Battler Dunbine.
It's so old school. I love the single frames.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is all Moonspeak to me, but I love it anyway.
Aura Battler Dunbine, I think, is 83. It predates the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. I feel so old.
Oh, boy. Oh, there's a blast of
I was trying to find an earlier example. No one's corrected me. I was trying to find an earlier example of Transport to Another World than Aura Battler Dunbine, but nobody came up with one. So, and of course, the MMO stuff doesn't start until basically Digimon in 1999 is the first of the digital worlds invading. So, speaking of the digital world invading, our heroes are playing Vital Hearts, where by day, during the downtime phase, they go on human adventures, and I think the most exciting human adventure was Quoteman's, wasn't it?
Well,
attempting to steal the headset and then going off to get harassed by robots.
Was he teamed up with Griffin? Was that
Yes,
you?
yes, he
Yeah.
was.
All right. So Kurabara and I forget Quoteman's character's name went on an adventure to a bizarre place where they met some bizarre people and they stole a truck.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Oh my god.
Yep.
Turns out it's hard to actually get payment out of robots for the stolen goods that you were trying to hawk.
Right. I mean, that was just sort of some sort of weird adventure that they can't really brag about. And did you guys get any weird loot out of that?
Oddly enough, no, I don't think so. I think we mostly got out with our own lives.
Yeah, you ditched the truck, and you saw a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, the Yakuza now owns the truck, I believe.
Right, or is doing something to the truck. So what they're going to do with it, you don't quite know.
Right.
Because
in their hands, not mine.
Just because it had no plates on it, which meant it was, an illegal truck. Also, since this takes place in the near future, the fact that it was a gasoline truck that required a driver means it's a vintage vehicle. So that's also pretty obscure. Yeah, I mean, I could also get into whether it's gasoline or whether it's grain alcohol, but that's a different issue. It was just a weird adventure all around. So, and also, now, Awen, what's the name of your police inspector now?
Sugimori Goto.
Right. If I remember, Sugimori Goto, you cooperated with the Interpol agent.
Yeah, I did.
So, and also, I think Raktus, what was your character's name?
Ren Sato.
Ren Sato. You had a brief interlude with somebody who might have been Quoteman.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was just a weird
you
thing.
went to an awkward lunch.
Yeah, we went to an awkward lunch, and he showed up and talked to you and asked you a few questions. Since you'd never, you'd met him before, but he was just weird that day, and then just left.
Yeah, he wanted something. Or information about something.
Which you didn't volunteer.
Nope.
Yep, and even after that, your girlfriend said, that was weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't interact much, me and, Quoteman's character.
Well, because he is a smart-ass punk. So now, Vital Hearts is still in the soft launch period, so they're having these on-again, off-again periods where they take it down for maintenance and debugging, as well as, and also in the news, not only was there the Pacific Expo where Mad American comes by to shoot people, some of the figures in the Japanese media are jumping on this, saying video games were a mistake. They're a terrible idea, and the idea of bringing we're going to turn everybody into fat, lazy Americans who are also violent.
Wait, did I talk with the guy? I think.
Oh, come now. It's all a strategy to increase sales by causing drama. It worked with Grand Theft Auto, now it's going to work for this MMO.
Well, actually, I think there are people who would even say that, but in Japan, you don't get sales through a violent publicity gimmick. You have other kinds of publicity gimmicks.
Well, I mean, there are American companies involved, so it's not beyond them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? The Americans are just capable of anything. Horrible. So...
Well, speaking of the that almost shooting event, don't quite recall if we had talked about it before, but I have on my sheet that I had sold back jumping, for logical reasons.
Right.
And I had bought the gift of wealth.
Yep. Makes sense to me. So,
because I did save a very wealthy person.
Yeah, so that works. I know there's a couple edits that we're gonna have to do. I had some more requests to move some of the classes around, so we're gonna do that. But that's fine for right now. So yeah, no, you. Plus, also, what did cause your accident?
Oh, we had talked about boxing-related injuries.
Okay, so you might also be getting insurance settlements for that too. So the two of those combined.
Because in Japan, amateur boxing is one of the has a lot of deaths related to it.
Yep. But the most important thing is the game is coming back online. And you're all saying, yay! And you start up your computer. It says, downloading patch. Will be done in 73 hours. Boo! Wait, it'll be done in 5 minutes. Wait, 36 hours. Wait, 20 minutes. Wait, 34 hours. Wait.
Yeah, I
Forget
hate
this.
that so much.
I'm going to go get some tea. But eventually the game finishes updating. And you all can go ahead and log in and play. Ooh.
Hey,
So-
bring it up.
What do the patch notes say?
A fixed a clipping problem where people were falling through the earth. Removed patch that if you die in game, you also die for real. Will reinstall later after review.
Wait, what?
Parentheses, lol.
This is
But we
Japan.
are willing to reinstate microtransactions for extra real lives.
Microtransactions. We call this our new pay to live. Now that we're partnered with E EA.
You can find them now randomly in loot boxes.
Randomly, congratulations, you can live.
Would you like to get a life?
Would you like the season pass? Or would you like to?
Let's
Stuff-
not kill Rafferty yet.
Stuff that never comes up in the isekai genre, but cracks me up. No, like the patch notes are just filled with also rebalanced chaotics and lowered the cooldown of fire effects from 32 milliseconds to 64 milliseconds. It's like filled with garbage. If you want to try and read it and make sense of it, that is going to require special skills. It will require mind and academics to understand computer stuff, and you get an extra D12 if you have the programming.
Oh boy, I get to roll 2d6. That's one success. I can read.
You can read the patch notes, and like I said, most of it, with one success, you'll get what any casual, or any halfway alert person would, which is mostly stuff that doesn't affect you. None of your stuff has been nerfed.
Ah, phew, good. That's what really matters in life.
It also says a lot of notes of killing exploits and that kind of stuff. The usual kind of boring garbage, nothing dramatic. So when you log in and put on your NIE helmet, now when you're logging in, are you all using your factory factory approved NIE helmets? Who's got the weird helmet that you stole?
I think Quote and I still do, though I'm not sure it's official who actually has it in their possession.
Well, I'm assuming that since Quoteman is indisposed, and that you've had an adventure with him, that if Kurabara wanted to get his hands on it, he could.
Right.
So that's the question of whether you want, because when you found out that it is a NIE prototype and it does use the NIE OS, but you never actually connected it to a network or anything, and it didn't do anything interesting when it wasn't connected to when it wasn't on a network.
Right, and I think we wanted to find a programmer just to say hey, is there tracking software on this? But Kuwabara might go log in, take his laptop, go to a cafe today, and try on the new headset.
Right, and like I also caution people, the NIE headset it's a full-fledged, basically gaming console in its own right, because it has to run all the processing. It doesn't.
Nice.
It needs an internet connection. It does not need a computer.
Awesome. It's official. Kuwabara has just flipped a coin, and he's wearing the headset today.
Yeah, because people were asking me when's the augmented reality come in, and these headsets I've been calling them VR, but they're actually augmented reality headsets. The AUG doesn't really do anything just yet, but
right, no content, but it's there.
Maybe it will, because this could be a huge push from TML to make their own augmented headsets. So, Kurabara, I'm understanding that you are going to go ahead and put, and also I pointed, are you going to put on the weird headset?
Absolutely.
Okay. When you put on the Weird's headset, the first thing I need you to do is I need you to make a roll of will and endurance.
Oh boy. Oh hey, no endurance, so just rolling will.
Nerd
This can't
Patrol,
have
activate.
worked.
Epileptic fit in the middle of a cafe.
What if I just started off being really excitable today? I have new tech. I've been waiting so long.
I'm full of electrolytes.
They're what plants crave.
What plants crave.
It's what I
classics.
keep saying to myself as my brain melts, but
Okay, so you plug in and like it has that boring screen the boring boot up screen that you saw before. Then it requests network connection found, and you use the haptic feedback to go ahead and use the little wand thing or the little glove thing to click on it.
Mhm.
And suddenly there is a tingling sensation all throughout your body. Have you ever had that feeling where I think you just wake up or whatever? Well, it's a weird sensation. It's a tingling as if your limbs had fallen asleep. But even though you're numb, your limb, you have what I think is called the myoclonic jerk. That's where it's kind of like you're falling asleep or something and you just kind of like shake.
Mhm.
You ever had that, like the wake up shakes?
I haven't, but I understand the feeling.
Okay. And you stumble in an anime fashion, you'll stumble a bit in your chair. And we'll film it from 3 different angles, and then there'll be a sting. And you go, Nando? Or is it Nani? Sorry, my Japanese is terrible. You'll have that like, what was that? And you basically have this kind of goosebumps feeling, but you've logged into the game successfully. And no alarm bells go off, and you're sitting there in the cafe. A couple of people like stare at you and then go back to gold farming. But the first thing you notice is that before the game kind of had that. It looked pretty good. Like the graphics were amazing, and there was lighting, and there was HDR. But now you're feeling. Well, first of all, you open in the standard boot up room is a round amphitheater. It looks like a round stage, but it's surrounded by black fog, basically like blackness. So you're just this big circle, and you stand there with a spotlight on you. Now you can feel this weird feeling of where there's cold air all around you, but where the light is beaming from the spotlight that doesn't exist. It feels like a real spotlight, like there's actual heat on you. And it's this extremely weird sensation because before the game wasn't mimicking heat.
Kuwabara will get quite excited by this, and we'll just sort of start testing out like the limits of that heat feeling, just like putting his arms in and out, turning around, shaking his ass in the loading room, and just seeing like how it works.
This is incredibly fascinating to you, but of course, when Ren and Goto finally log in, they just see you doing all this weird, goofy stuff. Because they're still all members of the same party.
Oh, an all party loads up in the same room. Awesome.
Ren, did you buy guild leadership?
No.
Okay, so no one's a guild leader yet. Okay. We need to put that back in there because that was a good idea that you had.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that was in one of the previous playtests, and we're putting that back in. But I don't think it's officially in the book right now.
Well,
So,
we'll do that next time.
You all boot up, and there's a circle, one of the circling the drain things, waiting for Quote Man's character, and he never logs in.
Oh, okay.
Calypso
Guess
logs
he's
in,
busy.
right?
Maybe he has school. School started up again, right? Right?
Yeah, he must not be here. He might what? Not play video games? And yeah, well, of course, Ren, your ally logs in. I mean, you guys, we can play the game now, and it's patched for both of us.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Pretty
go.
sweet.
It's game time.
Okay. So
Game time is date night.
So I'm sorry. There is one thing that would be interesting in the patch notes. They have now finally gotten a game hub to work.
Yay!
So like a starter town?
Yes, you can go to Starter Town.
Oh joy.
Oh yeah, Starter Town.
Yep. I believe it's called Cartesia Gate, is what they're calling it right now.
Immediately /con the guards and see how powerful they are, and if I could take over the city.
So what happens is after all of you log in, instead of standing on a stage where you're surrounded by dark blackness, the lighting sweeps upwards from you. And you can see that you're standing on a dais that, of course, is one of those like rotundas that you see these in towns. You see these in MMO towns all the time. There's a rotunda that's set off from the main road because you have people teleporting in all the time. And suddenly, boom, cobblestones are everywhere. And great towers like rise before you. The bluest sky you've ever seen. And there are towers off in the distance. And of course, a cloud of bird explodes to fly in front of the towers to give you scale.
Whoa!
And the wind almost blows your hat off.
Right.
Oh, no.
And then everyone Kurabara, that weird sensation of coldness and stage spotlight changes for you to where it becomes a really nice summer day. Also, Kurabara, you notice that your friends have stopped moving.
Stopped moving?
Yep. Friends, as soon as the game loads up the hub town, it's like, oh wow, you're turning your head, looking around at stuff, and then suddenly the trees that are swaying in the breeze and the clouds all stop moving, and the sound effects like just start to, and then you see a thing you've never seen before, buffering.
God damn it.
Silvar gives a great big sigh. Load times.
Kurabara, you are not affected one iota.
Oh boy. Ooh.
You also hear the sound of angry cats in the distance.
Oh no. Beast.
And then that buffering stops, and Kurabara, you can start seeing little ghosts fading in, and suddenly people are appearing, like poof, 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 poof.
Ooh.
And you can see them fade in, and some of them are statues still. Some of them are statues still, and suddenly, boom! Rocket 90 paces over there. Do you do anything weird while this weird loading experience is going on?
I might start poking and prodding things just to see how they react. If I pick up something, will it drop and be affected by physics during that freeze time?
Yes, it will.
And incidentally, I will poke some of the people who are standing still and see if they react afterwards by going a fair distance away.
They don't seem to react, but they feel unusually. They have it's before you just got kind of haptic feedback that felt like some sort of rumble pack or something like that. Like the handsets they have for this can give that kind of feedback. But now it's weird. It's like you can touch them, like they're really here.
Yeah.
Kuwabara takes the time, of course, to use this wonderful haptic feedback response to try twisting a few faces into really dorky poses and stretching the cheeks out.
I'm glad we're that kind of anime and not the other kind of anime.
I was thinking about it for a second, but I'm like, no, let's not go there.
We're all good, decent people here. But yeah, actually, the molding the still people's faces into mooshing them, like when you push on them and moosh them out of shape, they actually come back to. They snap back. It's not like it's not like they're frozen in time. It's like they can't move, but you can. But when the game fully loads up, no one seems to have noticed this. What happens is when finally everyone else finishes buffering, you see Kurabara just suddenly zip to 8 different places at once, zigzag, and then just stop like he's some kind of blurry Flash character.
So I guess you didn't get the buffering, huh?
Oh, you're back. Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm sorry, TY.
Welcome to Cartesia Town. Oh, sorry. There has to be like a short little NPC where she's wearing a green cap that has a bell on it, and she carries a handset bell, like she's like a town crier. Welcome to Cartesia Gate. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything.
Hey, go ahead and start giving us the long, elaborate history of this town while I walk over there.
Why, yes. Cartesia was founded by the great ancients on the 3 pillars to once again banish chaos from the land and bring a reasonable order. Thank Lord Reves for presiding over all of this and giving us this great and wonderful palace in this golden age that will last for 1,000,000 years.
Golden Palaces, sounds great, I say from down the street.
It is. Feel free to visit some of our many shops, which carry a variety of items that will both help you in your struggle to battle and also make you look more fashionable.
I would like to take a look at the shops.
You can the Cartesia Gate itself is kind of in a French style. Like you guys have seen the Arch de Triomphe, right? It's both in France and Manhattan.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a gate like that, and of course, since this is an MMO, it's impossibly huge. Like it's about 9 stories tall, and there's people walking in and outside. And if you walk through the gate, because you also walk around the city where there's all these colonnades that look over a beautiful forest. But if you walk across the floor, of course, it should be flat, smooth marble, but somebody during the designer process thought, we gotta show off like bump mapping and texture mapping. So now it's smooth, like marble pebbles that look something like a cross between marble and cobblestones.
Okay.
You guys walk across it just fine. Kurabara, the ground to you is weirdly bumpy.
Kubar is like naturally like stopping, kneeling down, putting his hand to the ground, just kind of waving his hand over it and feeling it out and going,
Yeah.
oh
Feels
wow,
smooth,
they
like
actually put real depth into it. It's
Yep.
not just a texture.
And of course, in the square itself there's a bunch of people standing around doing emotes like, oh man, I can't believe we got the, we going on the beta, I can't wait to start selling gold. And it's like, there's no way they're going to let people do that. And of course, there's a bunch of people in a variety of different outfits standing around. There are NPCs who are juggling because we can show off the really cool immersive experience so you can walk around them in 360 degrees. And there's a variety of little kiosks that are people selling weapons and armor and other stuff. The city streets itself, the city slowly rises before you, and off in the back you can see Sorakura Tower, which is some of the content they have promised to deliver later.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be the proving ground of Lord Reves himself. Supposedly some of the greatest evils are inside. It was once a prison, but now it is some sort of
Theme park.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Alternate reality.
Raktus, what would you call the Tower of Druaga?
Well, that was a Tower of Wishes.
Okay.
And the evil god Druaga resides at the top, but he is said to have this, like a rod that granted a single wish, whatever you wanted.
Yep. So there's probably a rumor that's at the top of the tower, but of course, since Rafferty designed this game, you just get up there and ha ha, joke's on you.
Well, that's how Tower of Druaga was too. Spoilers.
Just ruin it for everybody.
Well, that's alright.
How
There's
many
a
years
second
old?
season. There's a second season which covers that too. So
Okay.
I didn't spoil the second season.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, a lot of the places that you walk up to, while the NPCs are nice and polite, they'll say, despite the fact that you can see they have a kiosk and they're dressed in some very finery and they've got like the cash box there and they've got all the stuff behind them, it's all lying around. They say, we're closed. And then they say, come back later. Because
Kubar will attempt to just pick something up off of their counter that is clearly visibly there.
You go to one of the weapon shops and pick up one of the daggers and physically like look at it and rotate it. It's one of those standard kind of triangular blade type things you see in MMOs where they're big slabs of polygons, but it reacts to the light and everything. The shopkeeper says, we're closed, come back later, and smiles and waves at you.
Kuwabara will just try walking off with it and see how they react.
You successfully walk off with it, and he gives you no reaction whatsoever.
Kuwabara might come back for arm loads.
Does that have any stats?
It is a gray tier hanging knife, hanger knife.
Great tier, so it's trash.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
Which means it's not even usable as a weapon.
Ooh, I guess I'll just go steal, housing
it's
decorations then.
It's usable as a weapon. I thought gray tier was the trash tier.
Gray tier is trash tier. White tier is, one, racist, and two, white tier can be used as weapons and such like that. White tier is usable items. Gray tier is trash that has no use to be sold, but to be sold for.
I'll stay away from colors because I obviously know with them. It is a weapon. It's a trash tier weapon.
Well, I mean, free knife. If there happens to be any above trash tier, say, bombs lying around, he might upgrade, but other than that, maybe he'll steal a couch for later.
You do discover a problem, though. All of you have automated bag space inside your outfits. Kuwabara, when you call up the HUD and try to put this knife into your bag space, the interface refuses to recognize that you have this knife. So even though you are physically holding it and stabbing things with it and poking things with it, the HUD doesn't recognize it, so you can't put it in your big imaginary bag.
How many slots?
Interesting.
How many slots do we have?
Right now, everybody
That's an
has
item.
24 bag slots.
Ooh, okay.
I think I am holding a digital brick.
What's everybody else doing? Just
I'll go to a guard.
pay your taxes, he says, brandishing his halberd at you.
I said guard, not tax collector.
Oh. This is an Ultima joke. That all the guards in Ultima say pay your taxes.
Oh.
Yeah,
was
they
the one line.
They only show up though when you attack an NPC.
Are you attacking NPCs?
No.
Maybe later.
The guards themselves have kind of those lens necks type helmets, which if you've seen in Dark Souls are the ones that turn into big cones for their faces, and then have little dots where the eyes would be. So they are faceless, and they have fluted armor, which is curved and designed to bounce stuff. They are armed with, I shouldn't say halberd, they are armed with lances because there's a lot of cones going on in the MMO, not because it's an easy, basic shape.
I'm going to try and use a keyword system. I'm going to say, Adam, guild charter.
Yep. I'm a guard. I protect Cartesia from its many enemies. You can never be too vigilant about chaos. We built this entire city upon the Necropogium, which is a large repository of chaos monsters. You'd think we want to build a city somewhere where there wasn't a bunch of evil monsters, but shrug. I'm just a guard.
Hey, Tristram got a lot of business building on top of the gateway to hell, so I mean, seems like a sound strategy, honestly.
We're on a gateway to hell. Wow.
Yeah, close enough.
All the more reason you should pay your taxes. How can I help you, citizen? Are you looking for a quest?
Well, he didn't respond to the keyword, so I guess I'll just say yes.
Okay, guild charter. You'd have a lot more luck asking Master Jubei about that. He's the smartest guy I know.
I'll check my mini-map. Did he, put an icon down or anything?
Yes, Master Jubei is the guy who gave you the original tutorial quest, and he is one of the administrators at the Cartesia University, which is on your mini-map.
I rather meant a little flag icon or something in most MMOs you talk to a guard or something and you ask them, or you indicate, hey, I want to go to this place, and they're like, oh yeah, it's right over here. And you have a little flag icon on your minimap to say, yeah, you want to go right there.
In fact, that flag was already on everyone's map, but when the guard mentions it, it flashes.
Alright, what's the quest?
Quest? Well, I don't actually give out quests. I'm a guard, and I guard the city against the monsters. Centuries ago, we built our city upon the Necropogium.
Oh boy.
I'm going to bring up the bug report.
Sounds like some open source engine here. We just need to find an entrance, I guess.
I'm going to bug report that this guard specifically asked me if I wanted a quest and then said he had no quests. Clearly that's a bug.
Well, it's an interface thing. You want a quest? Well, if you want a quest, you should go talk to this guy. He gives out lots of quests. I almost regret not having a camera so you guys can't see the gestures I'm making because I'm gesturing like one of those canned gestures NPCs make.
You're just there with your hands out, bobbing them up and down repeatedly.
My weapon just poof disappears, and then I'm waving my hands, and then I go back to my my resting pose, and the weapon reappears. Other than that, well, most of the shops here aren't actually selling anything except for the cash shop, which is offering if you give them your credit card, they will let you spend your yen to buy all kinds of cosmetics.
Oh, yeah, I need to browse that for sure.
There are already
Oh,
several
yeah.
people wandering around, in new outfits, and of course, you can't actually get naked in the game, so there's people running around in underwear, and apparently they haven't, if they have gender locked the outfits, they haven't locked down on that yet, so of course there are guys running around in sailor suits.
I need to
How
go
perfect.
to the cash shop and find the sparkliest, most distracting, and probably ugliest item there. Like bright lime green on orange hat with like moons around it or something.
Ah. Yeah, I suppose eventually you'll find an incredibly tacky outfit.
Oh,
They're-
perfect.
They're happy to sell you for, I guess, something like 1,800 yen.
Experimentally, he'll see if he can just take it off the table and walk away with it.
Well, the problem is that we don't actually have the outfit on the table. The outfits that we have on the table, like when you walk up to the kiosk, it's always the NPC is there. They smile and talk to you, and the stuff they have on the table are like the generic kind of stuff that you guys wear all the time, just lying out there like props. But when you talk to them, it calls up a menu. But Kurabara, you've got this weird thing where, like none of the rest of you have tried to steal anything from the kiosk yet. But Kurbo, you got this weird thing where you can like just reach in the kiosk and just grab this item, and it looks like one of the starter outfits, like one of the starter wizard or light outfits or assault outfits. And you just pick it up, and the people there don't respond at all.
Wait. So he has a menu that appears in front of him that he can just reach in and take shit out?
No, what I'm getting at is all of you get menus. When you go to the start of the kiosk and start talking to them and say, do you want to buy something? A menu pops up on your screen that lets you buy something. And then you stop interacting with the real world and interact with the augmented menus in front of you. Like you poke at them like they're holographic. You guys have seen the kind of VR headsets with the Oculus Rift.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And poke at them. And that's how you buy stuff. Kurabara, however, can ignore the menu and just walk around the guy at the kiosk and just grab stuff off the table and walk off with it. None of you guys have tried to do this yet.
Oh, you're saying that the cash shop items exist in the world and they're not just in the menu.
Yes and no, because in the world, the cash shop exists and they have outfits lying around, but the menus themselves have the really cool stuff to buy. Because
right, the things decorating are just the trash tier stuff.
Okay, no, I thought you were saying that he could see the menu and he could just reach into the menu and pull them out.
I know, that's why I'm clarifying that. No, Kurbar can interact with the pre-baked assets in the world.
Actually, I was gonna see if she can find maybe the most skimpiest skin revealing outfit just for the hell of it.
Of course. I mean, there's a variety of different outfits. The skimpy outfits, of course, come in 80 different colors, whereas the sequin one only comes in 3. Although, actually, they would probably be because the NIE has the most awesome rendering engine, they let you pick your own color, rather than locking you into certain colors because of shader issues. They really want to show off how awesome their engine is. So you guys can spend all of your money and buy ridiculously gaudy outfits in true MMO fashion. What's this called in MMOs where you can change what your appearance looks like and it doesn't match the outfit that you're wearing?
Oh,
they have a word for that?
Yeah, they do. They do, and I've forgotten. It slipped my mind. I've done it so much in WoW recently.
Right. I know modern MMOs do that. Because they want to sell you the cosmetics.
Right, but we decorate up over top the actual armor we're wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys spend a lot of money and buy some outfits.
Like for 2,500 yen.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, this has been a fun VR chat room experience, but what do you say we
Transmogrify.
go pick something up?
Of course they have a $3 word for it. Transmogrify. All right. Make a note to myself. Gotta put that in the game. All right. So you guys, like, basically that seems to be the big thing. And of course there are people like coming around going, there has to be like one random guy says, this is just a stupid cash grab. These don't actually affect anything in the game. Games not even been released yet. They've already started a cash shop. What a ripoff.
Well, don't
Man,
spend
It's
your
mad
money
I'm
on it.
prettier than you are.
But it's the fact that you guys spend your money on it. This is infuriating. This makes me angry. I'm angry about video games.
Go to a forum
Kubar's
or
gonna
something.
take like a simple gray belt that he stole from one of the stalls earlier, and he's just going to go up to the guy and wrap it around his mouth.
Hey!
What the? Okay. I thought it was.
What are you doing? This belt. Now, you successfully wrapped the belt around his mouth, but you can all still hear him talking in full volume.
You know, I had higher expectations for that.
Gonna log a bug report?
Absolutely, could not shut players up.
Well, I mean, I
I'm
could
gonna
just
report-
We'll also
slash
send a
mute.
screenshot.
You just mute them?
Yeah, slash mute. Or slash ignore.
That's no fun.
I mean, we're all just going to assume that you must have bought some custom emote off the cash shop.
Yep. So you can go ahead. You can go ahead and mute him.
That was easy.
Now, whenever he talks, I guess a little like speaker appears above his head with a line through it.
Well, that would be like the Second Life thing where he just appears like a gray blur, so we know he's around. It's just he's a banned character from us.
Um.
I know we didn't
Yeah.
totally block him. We just said we didn't want to hear from him again.
Well,
True.
actually, yeah. Well, if you mute him, then he would stop talking. But I guess there would. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. There would be an ignore option. But of course, this is an anime, so if you choose ignore, he turns into one of those clamp background characters where he's just a black outline with a gray shape inside it.
Yeah, that sounds better.
All right, we got clamp. it worked into this, so now I'm excited.
You know, or the
other-
big bad from Gurren Lagann.
Other than that, you can wander around the market square, and like there's this huge city. Of course, when you try to go off any side passage other than the one of the university, there's like carts and I want to say it's like a French barricade of carts and barrels and just like thick assets for like 7 or 8 paces deep with guards in front of it saying, "Sorry, this section of the city is temporarily closed. Come back later and pay your taxes."
Ah, the
Yeah, I
revolution is
almost
on.
want to climb it, but I'm still trying to get a con reading off those guards, and I'm not getting a good feeling.
Yeah, the revolution is finally here.
Well, if it's like any other MMO, the guards are going to be max level.
Yeah, well, I guess I gotta wait until later to kill them all.
They're there to slow down any PvP raids.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, supposedly the game doesn't have. They haven't added
Factions.
PvP arenas yet.
I mean,
They're still in beta, so they haven't added PvP yet.
There's no factions, is what you're saying?
No, in fact, remind me to ask you some questions about this later, because factions don't come up a lot in the MMO literature, or like the isekai literature, but I know they're in there. So,
Well, I mean, SAO had factions. That's literally the only factor in the second arc.
right. Well, you're a little ahead of me. I've only seen the first.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I got busy with Accel World and Block Horizon.
Accel World was filled with factions.
Yeah.
Log Horizon's filled with factions.
That's why I have questions for you, because they're not what I was expecting. So
It's fair. It's fair.
It all depends on whatever the story is.
right.
But I see a story here already, which is there's a bunch of dungeons underneath here. I bet we could find an entrance if we looked.
Well, the entrances to the dungeons have been sealed, but if you remember from the demo adventure, Master Jubei knows how to open seals.
And we have a quest marker to go talk to Master Jubei as well.
Ah, yes.
You could also just wander out of the city and wander off into the dangerous forest.
All the wild boars we could fight. Live to win.
Live to... Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hogger
So,
awaits.
do we want to go hunt boars for about 50 hours and see what we can get out of that, or do we want to go poke the master? I'm kind of voting master. I feel like a good little dungeon run, don't you?
Well, it's not only that. The fact is that he could probably also have a quest that would send us out of the city, and you want to min-max these things.
Ah, that's true. Well, may as well gather them all up.
All right. So, man, Quote Man's really missing out today. So you guys walk. Kurabara, yeah, what was your character's job again?
Grenadier.
No, your real life. Your
criminal.
criminal. Okay. Well, the weird part is, well, the rest of you guys are kind of walking around. The rest of you are, like all of you, of course, are just, holding down the move button or pointing a certain direction to move a certain way. I don't know. They never make this entirely clear how this works in the MMO animes. But Kurapara, you're actually starting to feel the burn.
Ah, oof.
I mean, you spent all that last night running around from whatever that was. It's like, wow, why would they program actual burn in this? Is this like a Wii Fit?
Oh, all that
Okay,
cake and
cool.
soda, it's coming back to me.
Doing okay?
You know, maybe virtual reality isn't going to succeed after all. It's too much
Yeah.
walking.
Too much walking. You will go up because they love spirals in this town. Yeah, and Awen kind of like looks at, Kurabara's, Awen asked Kurabara if you were okay. What do you say?
Isn't he Karasu in the game, or is that his real name?
Oh,
Is it
Karasu,
Karasu?
my bad. My
Yeah,
bad. So
it's
Awen is
Karasu.
Karasu in the game.
Maybe drink some water or something? I don't know.
You know, this is a town. There's got to be like a fountain around here or something.
There's
Scoop up some
always
water.
fountains. They're everywhere. We want to show off our water physics. Look at this. This is what VR is all about. Water physics.
I'm gonna test out their water taste. You know, they got that ready. They
It
got
tastes like
sensor-
artesian water. Have you ever had artesian water?
Yes.
No.
It tastes like regular water.
$5 more.
Yeah, it is,
Well-
basically.
It tastes like regular water, only it has the slight hint of this odor of rotten eggs and a metallic aftertaste because this is fountain water.
I know why medieval societies drank beer.
Yep.
I have learned.
So where are we going? We're going to...
You walk past Bellefontaine here and go to the university, which has a lot of Gothic architecture because we love those big cones. Love those big cones. And your map has you going through the front door into the main hall and then off to the side. This is like where they teach the Cartesian principles, the 3 pillars of the different kinds of magic, which we will be getting into soon.
It's the X, Y, and Z axis.
Even though Master Jubei is a senior professor and should thus have like a much better office, for some reason his office is right there off the main atrium, so you don't have to walk a long distance to get your tutorial quests.
Yeah,
Wow,
so,
how considerate of him.
if you're looking for your class trainer, it's the best way to find them.
Hello! Remember, he is a short, bald man with a mustache, and he walks around with his staff of power wherever he goes. I have the one outfit. I'm pleased to see you.
Yes.
And he will, of course, have to stop and look at, Awen and Karasu and says, I see you've been to the bazaar and bought the many outfits. You know, the Cartesia is famous for its great designers. Phil, you should always be looking for new bargains every day.
He says great designers, and then the camera just sort of pans around to Karasu and just the gaudiest possible
Yeah,
thing.
you're gaudy, and then there's Awen there who's in
the
like
most skimpiest outfits.
who's in like a a lace
chainmail
bikini
bikini or
and-
something.
Yeah. I
Well,
would think, I don't know, it's like borderline lingerie.
It's gotta be like a lace padded bra, and then it's a skirt with 17 buckles,
Yes.
and
Very gothic.
But look,
I
there's a
guess.
single metal strap, so it has armor value.
and boots, and of course, and mismatched boots because of course you bought 2 different boots.
Yes.
But even though, besides, he does compliment you in your appearances. Except for Ren, who I think just blew all this off.
No, Ren always looked the same. Oh, Ren in the game is named Tetsu, but
Tetsu, right? And what's the name of your ally?
in game,
Yeah,
her screen name is Calypsia.
Calypsia bought a hat. She bought a really big wide brimmed hat with peacock feathers on it.
But I always wore my my armor. I didn't change that.
Right. Well, she bought the hat. She said, it looks nice.
Yeah, of course it is.
And that's funny because the two wealthiest people don't buy hardly buy anything. Anyway, Jubei says, I'm so glad I have been delving deeper into the codex that you brought us. The news that you brought back from the abandoned phylactery was a cause for great concern.
Oh yeah, we totally got that last time, didn't we?
Yes, it's I would send someone else, but you're the only people in this entire MMO with all of the thousands of people logged in who can actually help me with this. I think there are some formulas in one of the older books in the Urghai's Steading that could give great insight to this. But no one's been there in a long time. It's actually in part of the older city that dates back centuries ago before we built this great new city. So you'll have to go through the wilderness and into the abandoned complex. It might be dangerous. I'd go myself, but I'm an old man and have many duties here to perform. Will you help me?
Let's see. Quests accept? Yes.
But thou must. I'm pleased that you've gone ahead and accepted this quest. You may now put on your quest log, get the book of formulas from Urghai's Steading.
Sweet. Putting that on.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I think the recent character sheet has goals separate from quests, right?
Yep, I got goals and quests.
Yeah, because we started to split them up. Goals will be plot-related stuff, and quests will be in-game related stuff, which will have different sets of rewards.
Oh, sorry. You said this was a goal or a quest?
This is a quest, because it's in the game.
Yes.
When it's in the context of the video game, it's a quest.
Yes.
Because people were asking about that, so we're going to have different sets of rewards. Also, because quests can be way more petty than goals. Excellent. I with a wave of my hand, I can go ahead and make a holographic display of a formula that communicates to your disciplined minds where the location is, and it's now marked on your mini-map. Bing! Even though he said it was a great distance away in the old abandoned city, it's like a short walk out of town.
I'm sure they'll change the terrain in the next iteration.
While we're here, I'm going to say the words Guild Charter to him, see if there's any reaction.
Yes, you can charter your own guild once you've gone ahead and once you've acquired level 3, you can go ahead and start your own guild.
Oh, it's got keywords. That's right. Thieves Guild.
You can start your own guild once you've gotten up to level 3.
Ah, dang.
Well,
I guess
look
I'll
at
just
my
have to do it.
UI. What level am I?
How many level soaks do you have?
Level 4.
Well, that says level soak is a -4, so I guess that's just one level soak.
No. Each level soak should be a separate section, and you have 4 of them. Like it says, each one of those subtracts 1 point.
Okay, sorry, I'm still working off my old notepad.
Okay. Yeah, in the latest version of the character sheet, we just are giving people level soaks, and each time you level up, you can soak 1 point of damage.
Okay, so every number of a level soak is the actual level. I gotcha.
Right, and you can soak those individually. Those only work in the video game. Those don't work in real life.
Of course. So if I'm level 4, I'm going to say again, Guild Charter.
Oh, yeah, well, since you're high enough level, you can go ahead and start a guild charter. Let's see. I guess at present you have to put down 500 iotas.
Let's see here. I was writing this shit down.
I don't remember how many iotas I have.
Nope, no one ever does.
Oh,
Welcome to gaming.
We weren't told.
Okay. You have enough money to go ahead and start a guild.
Okay, well, I'll do that then.
All right, you guys spend your iotas and you start a guild. All right, you may go ahead and name your guild. I can go ahead and process the guild naming for you, as I am Master Jubei. All you do is give me a name, and I'll see if it's available.
I'll put in the Ancient Nightmare.
Yes, name is approved.
Okay, I'll go with that.
You are now
That
of the
took about 5
guild,
seconds.
the Ancient Nightmare. What brave and young warriors are you? It warms my heart to see people committing to bonding together and adventuring parties to look for the greater good.
Yes.
Can you identify items?
Yes, those are items.
I'm gonna pull out Chaos
I gotta say,
Kopesh.
the writer's got a sense of humor.
I'm gonna pull out
Chaos
Chaos,
Kopesh?
yeah, that I looted from the Demon Swordsman.
Oh wow, that was that big sword thing that you alluded. Yeah, it is a big sword, and it is a sword that can actually crit. So let me look up what that is. Like I said, I've got I haven't updated in a bit. We're gonna be updating real soon, folks, because I know people have been asking about that.
I also saw in my notes there's like a chaotic pestle?
The Chaos Pestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kopesh was a single-handed weapon, wasn't it?
I don't have a note for that. All I have is Chaos Kopesh dropped from Demon Swordsman. I know it was a massive weapon. That's all I know.
Oh, right. No, and it was, hey, it's a video game, so I can implement it any way I want. Yeah, it is it's basically a sword type. It has a range of close. It has magically shrunk to be a smaller size. Bizarre. It rolls body speed and fighting, and on a regular hit, it does 4 points of damage, and on a crit, it does 6, which it wasn't doing when it was in the demon's hands.
Okay. So slightly different from my Verdun sword.
Yep. And the Chaos Pestle is a two-handed weapon that rolls body and fighting and does damage 7 on a regular hit and does damage 9 on a crit.
Alwyn, you're a, what are we calling you now?
I don't know.
You're still a dervish. We're still overhauling the two-handed weapons. We're going to make them way better.
Yeah.
Sorry, the dual wielding.
Okay, well,
Because dual wielding is something everybody wants to do.
Tetsu is going to bring up the menu. You can wave his hands to the area like bringing up invisible menus to get the trade thing up, and I'm going to give the Chaos Kopesh to Alwyn.
Oh, because the Chaos Kopesh is a one-handed weapon, right?
Yeah.
Chaos Kopesh is a one-handed weapon.
Mhm.
If you want to equip it, it does body speed. You use body speed and fighting to hit with it. Okay. If you roll 1 success, it does damage 4, and if you roll 2 successes, it does damage 6.
And yeah, that seems like a good trade.
Yeah, because for me, my Verdun sword is better for tanking and whatnot.
Yeah.
I also have something here called a demonic monad.
Oh yeah, I have that too.
Yep.
Okay,
The
that must have been
demonic
the quest item.
Yeah, the demonic monad. Yes, that is a quest item. Oh, yeah, sorry. The demonic monad is actually a reward. Monads are crafting items, but crafting hasn't been implemented in the game yet, so it is a
Okay.
rare crafting item.
All right.
So I guess we trade.
Yeah, I
You
give you.
successfully trade. You just
Yeah.
you pull out and hand the items to each other.
Yay!
Trading in the game is easy. You equip it and then walk up and hand it to somebody.
Wow, it's so easy.
Jubei watches you guys gird up, and he has a remarkably roomy office, so like 4 or 6 people can stand in here.
Of course, everything's oversized.
Also, he has a desk, but for some reason he stands next to it instead of like actually sitting at it.
He totally holds his staff, right?
In one hand, yes.
I want to see if I can. I'm gonna like touch it and see how it reacts.
Okay, you can grab his staff, and he looks at you because whenever you guys get close to him, he stares at you with those uncannily realistic eyes. You can hold the staff, or you can try and wrestle it from his grip.
I want to just like play with his grip and see like how much of a death grip does he have on it.
He has a pretty good grip. Do you try to twist it out of his hand?
No, I'm not gonna start a fight.
But I mean, like, you grab it, you start twisting around. He just stares at you, sort of expressionlessly. He says, "Do you have questions? Have you considered going to the cash shop?" As you sit there and like tweak the stick in his hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it and go, "Hey, can you do jazz hands for me?"
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with jazz hands.
You just hold them up and shake them.
Oh, I think I see what you're doing here. I'm gonna slash wave hello at Jubei and see if he does anything.
Oh, hello.
Oh, he doesn't wave
Do you
hello
need-
back.
Are you lost? He waves with his free hand
Oh.
because he's got one hand on the staff.
Oh, I'm gonna slash hug Jubei.
You walk up and hug him. He, let's see, you're a male character, so he hugs back uncomfortably.
Nope, I am a female avatar.
Oh, then he hugs you uncomfortably.
But he does not let go of his staff during it.
He does. He lets go of the staff, and he lets go of the staff, and there's a weird flicker, and it's in the grip of Kurabara.
Ooh.
And then he hugs, and then the hug lasts until Ren breaks it. So so I guess Ren walks away from the hug, and then Jubei goes back to his position and holds his hand. And at first, he's in the grip where the staff would be in it, but it's not. Because his hand is just empty for a bit, and there'll be a pause, and he'll turn and look at his hand that's gripping nothing in sort of that weird semicircle, and flex his fingers, and now his expression changes, where he looks at his hand like he's never seen it before,
Oh shit.
and he looks confused. And then he takes a different pose where he clasps his hands behind his back like he's an old sage. Kurabara, write down, you have Jubei's staff. Unfortunately,
That's the J, isn't it?
you can't put it in your inventory, so you have to physically carry it or tuck it somewhere.
Oh, well, I do still have all those belts I took to silence the people I don't like, so I could just strap one and use it across my back.
Right. It's unpleasantly awkward. Unlike your other weapons, which you just kind of reach behind you or slap and they just sort of stick to you for some reason or disappear in your bag, imagine if you had a 5-foot stick and you had to carry this around.
Can you see the stats on it?
No, it doesn't show up in any of your menus.
Interesting.
Hey,
But we definitely broke the animation here. I'm kind of impressed.
hey Karasu.
Good teamwork.
Karasu, what's the stats on that?
It's a stick. I literally don't know. It's not showing up.
It's a stick.
Can I see it?
Here, you take it, and Karasu will toss it across over to him.
It's the weirdest thing. When you try to toss it to Ren and he holds out his hands, it will, like a physics object, hit his hands, bounce off, and fall on the floor.